Welcome! Happy you can join me on my little cloud today. It's been a while since I saw you last, but that's okay. Painting is just like riding a bike. Ah, that's better. As we get our wheels spinning, we'll run all the colors you'll be needing across the screen. Today we're going to be switching things up a bit. Instead of our regular 18 by 24 canvas, we're using 16 by 16. And instead of oil, we'll be using acrylic paint. Don't worry though, we'll still be able to apply some of our wet on wet practices here to make a fun little painting. Now, because we're working on such a small canvas, we have more command of our work on a desktop. And since I'm making really detailed work, I sketched out my scene previously to save time. Then I used wet on wet shading for our log cabin walls, and over here in the marsh, from across the top and working my way down to create depth. We used wet on wet again to create our creek rushing by. You know, these things just don't come alive until you can hear them. Did you hear that? Some happy little fishies just jumped out as they were swimming by. You know me and my trees. I put some way far in the background. Imagine my squirrel friends living there. They're just the sweetest little rascals. Let's take a quick look at them on the screen. These guys and their 40 siblings and cousins all like playing peekaboo. Isn't that something? Back to the trees. Gosh, that just wasn't enough back there. So I dropped one over here in the foreground. It covered some of my lilacs, but that's okay, because they're friendly neighbors. You may not see them anymore, but I assure you, they're still there. The man in our picture is wearing heavy flannel, and we need to work in layers to do it justice. This is where the acrylics come in handy because they dry a lot quicker than oils. I dropped a dark base coat, then a lighter pattern on top, and finally our white stripes using a half-sized liner brush. Look at this mug. It's horrible, all wrong. But as I always tell you, there are no mistakes, just happy little accidents. I painted it over it later, and look at how cool that liquid vessel is now. This is your world, and you can remake it however you see fit, however many times you want until it speaks to you. See here? I put in a happy little cub. Isn't he so cute, waving his little paw, saying hello? I think he might argue with us just a little bit, though. You see, Bob? He says. This was no happy little accident. This was a huge fucking mistake. Gee whiz, little bear. I guess you're right, I tell him. But still, watch your language, please. At least he's got some warm winter lodgings. Just look at how inviting that fire on the hearth is. To give that glow, we just really wore down the paint we had and used it as a tinting overcoat. Finally, I used painter's tape to add the white for our text's background. Even so, it bled a little, so be careful. You know, I like to be lazy when I can, so I printed out my text and used a backlight to trace it on my canvas, so it'd all be relatively uniform. Then used a slightly watered down white to cover the text itself, so you'd still see my pencil marks. And that brings you up to date. So, let's get started. I'm going to use a small round brush. And I'm just going to be very, very gentle, caressing the canvas with a tip. We don't want to slip and make a mess. There you have it. Don't Talk to Strangers, the first of my Mind Your Mother series. I hope you had fun painting along with us today. I know I did. From all of us here, happy painting, and God bless, my friend.